Hey guys, Jess Real Deal Readings here, bringing you some readings for the Fire Sign Collective. I have a pick a pile reading here for you. The overall energy from the overlighting consciousness of the bird kingdom is the sunbird, which talks about abundance, and not necessarily abundance as in money. I mean that too. However, it's mostly talks about the abundance from Mother Earth, from spirit, that type of thing, your ancestry and bloodline, etc., etc. You also, the overall energy as far as the ruin was Kanaz, talking about vision and revelations, what you know, kind of being tested on what you know, and being able to see a different perspective, like having a breakthrough is what I'm getting. It's almost this energy of more will be added to you. If there's a Bible passage, those who ask, more will be added if you seek, in other words. And so for the first, I did draw some signs here, but you don't have to pick your pile based on the signs, but we have Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. The first card is Collaborate. You have the Elephant and the Citron, as well as the Six of Cups. The second pile is the Mouse with the Pyrite, and you got the Wolf, which in the Grateful Dead deck is the Devil, so it's Capricorn energy. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn. The third pile, we have the Lion and the Carnelian, and the card is Collaborate. It's a bat, but you also got the Speaker of Truth. We're using the Heart of Fairy Oracle, the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. This is the Grateful Dead deck that I just got. It's awesome. And then this here is the Spiral Tarot. So pick your pile. Oh, that goes there. And that goes there. Pick your pile. I'm going to get us ready here. Move these out. Alright, so if you picked pile 1, this is your reading. Starting out, you had the Six of Cups and Collaborate, which tells me that something or someone from the past has returned, and you are in the energy of trying to decide if you would like to work with this person. The Elephant is a little telling here because elephants never forget, right? And so I feel like there is an energy needing to be looked at where perhaps the fact that you cannot forget what the end result of this situation was or how this person treated you is going to be relevant, and you need to be honest with yourself about this question, or else I don't feel like you will get a good answer if you don't start there. All right, Spirit, tell me about my pile 1, fire signs, sun, moon, rising, cross watcher, anyone dealing with a fire sign. What's the current energy? Oh, someone's stuck in there. Ooh, a tower. Oh. All right, we are. Oh, okay. So there's a lot going on here, pile 1. So there is a failure to let go of this person, this idea, this attempt at something, right? But the obstacle is the tower falling, and typically that's a good thing, right? Because the things that don't fit, the pieces that are not meant for you or your situation fall. But I feel like it's showing up in the obstacle here on top of the Nine of Swords tells me that someone's failure to stop overthinking the situation and just allow things to fall where they may, and rather than picking up the pieces and trying to put them back together, just getting a new perspective from the shambles and the destruction that is left, right? Seek among the ashes and you will find a new perspective and a new way of life, right? And it's like, you know, your past energy tells me that your dealings with this person left you feeling like you needed rest, that there was, you know, look, there, it's like the one that got away type of energy, the idea that, you know, you wanted to see happen but didn't follow through, the one thing that you have regrets about, yet your subconscious is not letting it go, right? You're holding on to it so tightly, and you could be dealing with a twin flame here, right? You could be dealing with a counterpart that maybe was not ready to meet you where you were at, and, you know, I feel like the realization of this, or maybe this person coming back, is bringing up a lot of this energy and these feelings of abandonment and disappointment, sorrow, regret, remorse, right? And it's almost a pride thing, I'm feeling like, and I'm hearing, don't let pride get in your way, right? Make a powerful decision for yourself that represents your true feelings about the situation. Is a collaboration with this person going to be a powerful move for you, or is it going to trap you in a situation that is only going to end up leaving you feeling the same way that you came into the situation? I feel like also, you know, the Eight of Cups here says that, you know, what you have learned between the time that this person left and the time that they have returned is powerful knowledge. But, you know, like Royce the 5'9" says, knowledge is power, but it's powerless if you have it and you don't acknowledge it. So if you have this power and this knowledge, right, and you ignore it because of this pride and this idea of, oh, I'm going to hold on to this because this is what I want, when that might have been what you wanted, but it may not be what you want now, right? Who you have become because of the situation and how things were left may not resonate anymore with this, right? But yet you're holding on to this idea that this is your person, this is the one, this is the thing that you want, and, you know, it could not be it. So I feel like there is a need to go into the situation with your eyes wide open, without judgment, without that ego, right? Keeping the ego in check here, and not being petty or spiteful, but really evaluating the energy that this person has returned in, and seeing if it makes sense for you still. You know, is this something that really is a good match for you now and the person you have become? You know, this is ultimately your most powerful way forward, right? And so knowing what this is for you, right? What is the ultimate connection for you? Maybe spend some time before making this decision looking into and visualizing powerfully what that looks like for you. Saying, so, we'll get an affirmation here for you too. Let's see. Where are my affirmation cards? Oh, they're over here. So I feel like, you know, working on this idea and building it in your head, what does a healthy relationship, a strong connection look like for you in your life at this moment, right? And then moving from that place and spending that time every day building that idea, so that when this energy returns, you will know right away in your spirit and in your waking consciousness if it's a good match or not. There will be no way for you to get tricked, because you'll already know what that looks like for you, and so you'll see the mismatches or the connections very quickly and be able to make a solid decision for yourself without this energy of not being sure, not being clear, not having clarity about it. And I feel like, you're waiting for the other person to give you this clarity, but I'm hearing that it's not up to them to provide that clarity for you. You don't need them at all in this situation, except for what kind of energy are they in currently? What are they bringing to my life? Is it positive or not? Can I feel secure and stable in this relationship? You know what I mean? Here's your affirmation. Old soul wisdom. I'm an old soul. I have vast experience, deep knowledge, and spiritual wisdom. I am the hope of the planet, and my magnificence is known by God. That's a good one. I feel like you are an old soul, whoever I'm talking to, and these ideas, this person very well may be a past life soulmate. It may be someone that was meant to come into your path to awaken you to your truth and help you to grow and, cultivate your strength. However, they might not necessarily be a good life partner. So I think that your most powerful way forward here is to really get clear on, get out of your head, stop trying to hold on to something that is gone. Let the tower fall gracefully. Allow things to settle. Allow things to be what they are. Don't expect anything. And just allow the universe to do its job. And then kind of see where things have fallen. Right. It's like, if you have been making good choices for yourself up to this point and touching base with your spiritual life, then you should be good. So your affirmation, I think, is pretty clear, that you already have the knowledge within your Akash to deal with this situation in a positive, benevolent, powerful way, to release the past and move forward in a position of strength and evaluate things. I'm not saying whether you should or you shouldn't. I mean, you would know what the end of this situation looked like. Was the person abusive? Did they value you? Did they treat you with respect and kindness and love and those types of things? If this person is a narcissist or anything of those, I don't recommend even allowing them a pinky in the door. However, if this was someone that maybe just was going through their own stuff, needed healing as well, then, it's always worth, there is a redeemable quality in everybody, right? And forgiveness is an attribute of the strong, not the weak. And so there is a powerful energy behind forgiving and moving forward. However, you have to release the past. You have to allow the tower to fall. Recognize, own your piece in it. Take responsibility for the choices that you made and move forward, making new choices that reflect the lessons that you have learned, gained, and garnered through the situation. Again, the Ruin Kanaz talks about vision and understanding of how universal law works, right? An understanding of how the karma and give and take and putting back as much as you take, reciprocation and things like that. And I feel like with this energy of collaboration, it's almost like maybe this person has recognized your value and now wants to work with you in a way that they hadn't seen as a possibility before. I'm going to get one more card for you, pile one. We're going to talk about the affirmation for the sunbird. card number 33, the number master number 33 might be significant. There's also angel number 44 out here. So your last card is the Nine of Wands, which talks about having healthy boundaries and making sure that you are respecting those boundaries and that you are enforcing them, rather, especially if you have had a past history of people pleasing and codependency and things of that nature. It is very important to respect the boundaries that you have had to put in place to feel safe and to feel strong and empowered. Because if you start letting those slide, then it all comes tumbling down. Getting out of your head, though, is your first order of business. You know, releasing this negative energy, creating powerful affirmations for yourself that support your highest, wisest, and fully aligned and empowered self is highly suggested here. Now, the sunburn has an affirmation that goes with it, and to invite the energy in to support you while you go through this situation with your person, with yourself, with spirit. And just like everything in this third density, we have to give allowance and allow for the energy to come in and help, right? We have free will. And so your angels and your guides, and if you haven't thanked them today and claimed your guides and your ancestors, I suggest you do it. Hashtag my spiritual team is cooler than yours. So the affirmation is, I ask the overlighting consciousness of the sunbird to light up my day. I know that I am blessed and that abundance and companionship are mine to enjoy. I acknowledge my contribution to this world and allow in the offerings that life is sending me in return. I choose to have fun now. So pile one, I feel like the advice here for this energy is to get out of your head, get out of bed, get out into the world, try something new, have a little fun, do something old that used to bring you joy, whatever it is, but getting out of the current space. There's also a need here to cleanse your energy, your aura. You can use, an aura spray, or, I like to make my own. I charge my moon water, and then I add essential oils to it, like frankincense. I'm feeling like you would be good with a little bit of cinnamon and some frankincense. Clear out any of that old negative energy. Also, and invite in the energy from the sunbird. Don't forget to invite the sunbird, not invite, but do that. But also don't forget to thank the sunbird for their energy, because you will see powerful change in your situation if you do invite them in, allow them to work with you. Take care, pile one. I wish you all the best with the situation. If you've resonated with my reading, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, so my pile two people. Sun, moon, rising, fire signs, cross watchers who are dealing with fire signs. And not that it matters, but this middle pile here, the mouse and the pyrite, which is, again, keep in mind, is fool's gold, was Sagittarius's reading. And I feel like, you have some pretty straightforward cards here, right? You have the wolf in this deck is the devil, and you have instinct, the wolf, right? And I think the warning here is that there's always a catch when you're dealing with the devil, right? There's always a promise of giving you all of your desires, but it comes at such a steep cost that you can't enjoy the reward, what you're getting you can't enjoy it. There's a loss of freedom, a loss of empowerment. And so I think you're being asked here, it's a test for sure, to see if you have evolved, grown in consciousness enough to recognize your own power, and that you don't particularly need whatever this thing is that you think you need or want, right? And maybe that's where you need to start. Ask yourself, do I really need this thing? How bad do I want it? What's it going to provide for me? Why can't I provide it for myself? Right? It's this kind of energy, because anytime you let the wolf in and you start making deals, things fall apart pretty quickly, and you never get what you bargain for. So that is, some advice to keep in mind. Also, I think with the instinct, with the wolf, right? It's like, maybe this is a test, but also a learning for you. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to learn how to trust your intuition, how to communicate with your innate, with your spiritual advice and guidance that is all around you. I'm feeling this powerful energy of a mother, and I'm thinking in terms of wolves and packs, and I feel like there is a need, dealing with the situation, to draw on an experience that you learned from the maternal members of your family. Perhaps your mother or your grandmother taught you something valuable here that would help in regards to this situation. Perhaps she handled something very well in her life, and there's a need to honor that memory, as well as take the advice into consideration. Spirit, tell me about my sun, moon, rising, fire signs, and my pile 2 viewers. All right, so you have the 7 of Wands. Oh boy, the Mirror, which is the Tower. The 7 of Wands talks about standing your grounds, not letting up with your boundaries, with your defenses. A powerful need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what I mean? And your obstacle is the Tower, which is interesting because pile number 1's obstacle was also the Tower. And I feel like there is a lot of energy around deconstructing the false lives and ideas and programming that we have received in the collective, right? Spirit is coming through and just tornadoes everywhere, right? And I feel like pile 2, with the 7 of Wands coming out here, it's almost like, and look, he's the wolf, right? Maybe you are the wolf. Maybe it is you that is trying to fit something into your life that doesn't belong, right? Maybe you are hunting something that is bigger and badder than you and is going to cost you, right? Put the shoe where it fits. And, it's like, it's this idea that you might get what you're looking for, but then realize real quickly that it was a huge mistake, right? It's this kind of thing. It's like, there's a need to, again, check yourself before you wreck yourself, and let the chips fall where they may. Oh, nice. You have the sun coming out in your entering energy. So perhaps this is a lesson that you've learned. The 4 of Swords in your subconscious position. You have the Hermit in the reverse in the past. You have the Page of Cups in the reverse in the advice. And you could be dealing with a Virgo. there's also a Capricorn energy, a lot of earth energy coming through on the cards. However, there's also a lot of water sign energy and fire. Your energy is out here. So a lot of, I feel like perhaps pile 2, this coming out in the reverse in the past tells me that you haven't spent much time reflecting on the choices that you've been making up till this point. Perhaps there is a need to be very selective with how you're moving with regards to your heart. You know, pages are typically impulsive and young-minded, childlike, but it coming out in the reverse in your advice position is telling me that there's a need for maturity here, emotional maturity, right? There is a need for you to pick your words and your actions very carefully in order to be able to truly enjoy this sunflower energy, right? Felix the cat. It's like, again, I feel like there have been some corners that have been cut, or there is an offer that you're considering taking because it may look like this is what you're going to get, right? And you may be entertaining this offer, but the offer comes at a hefty price. That offer comes attached to addictions and attached to toxic behaviors, mindsets, etc. And you just got the 9 of Cups that just came and fell out of the deck when I was shuffling it here. And so it's almost like you think you're going to be moving into this energy. But what I'm understanding and hearing from the 9 of Pentacles, I mean the 9 of Swords, and now the Lovers coming out, is that this choice, and it is a choice that you will be making, you know, it has to be made from a place of clarity. And I feel like because the Hermit came out in the reverse, you know, the Hermit came out in the reverse, which tells me you have not done much introspecting about the situation or the energy, or that you're just looking for a quick release from the Tower energy, right? Instead of sitting in that energy and really absorbing the lesson, you know, reflecting upon the choices and the lessons that were being given, right? So again, it's like moving on instinct is a good way to move forward, but finding balance for yourself, right, is more important. It's a more powerful way. It's heavy energy. I think with the Page of Cups coming out in the reverse, it's kind of like, and the 2 of Wands, right? There's a need to really get balanced, get clear. Don't be impulsive. Don't, who is it? Ben Harper. He has a song, it's called Diamonds on the Inside. And he says, what you say and do not mean follow close behind, right? So it's like the things that you, when the Page of Cups is quick to say, I love you, and I want you, and this and that, and I'll be there for you forever, right? And it's like all of those things, when you discover that this energy isn't going to be the sunflower energy that you, you know, were sold, right? Quickly, those promises turn to dust. You know what I mean? And so it's like all the things you said, that's what you will find for yourself. You will not have those things because you promised them and you didn't mean them. You know what I'm saying? Because you really haven't had a chance to evaluate this person or this job or this partnership or this friendship or this move or what, you know, whatever it is, or the deal that you're making to get something that you, because you don't want to sit alone, or you don't want to sit in this tower energy, when Spirit is saying it's possible that this is exactly what you need to awaken you to some of the illusions that you've been operating under with your family and friends and dynamics, community. You know what I mean? The Queen of Swords in the reverse and the Fountain. So the Fountain is the star, and the Queen of Swords coming out in the reverse tells me, right, that you have not been cutting people off when you need to, that you have not been standing on these boundaries that you need to be standing on. You have been allowing people to, you know, overstep your boundaries. And the advice here, pile 2, is to pick and choose your collaborations and your partnerships very carefully. Be careful about the small print in any contracts, deals, or partnerships you might be getting into right now. Any offers that you're entertaining, don't be quick to rush in. Don't be impulsive. Really find some balance, meditate, pray, ask for guidance. Invite your spiritual team to help you move forward powerfully, and spend some alone time asking yourself some powerful questions about the last cycle that you've been involved with. And I think that you will find some help. I'm gonna get some let's look out some. Alright, so, oh, bad. Oh, boy. So you have BAD and you have MOT. So maybe Tom might be significant. Dad, mother. Feeling like family issues here might be significant. This might have to do with family. Like, I feel like you might be signing contracts. This is for some, not all. You might be signing contracts or something like that, and there's definitely a need to have a lawyer or someone that is good with that kind of stuff go over the small, fine details of this contract before you sign on the dotted line, right? Do not ignore your intuition at all, because I feel like it is telling you some important things, and you're going to want to listen to them, and there will be no going back is what I'm hearing. All right, my pile 2 people, I hope this helped. If you liked my reading and resonated with it, please leave a comment and a like. I would appreciate it. It helps the channel. Take care. All right, pile number 3, Jessica here, Real Deal Readings. This is just an overall energy check-in for fire signs, sun, moon, rising, cross watchers, those dealing with fire signs. If you picked pile 3, the sign of Leo, you don't have to be a Leo in the fire sign. These readings are all for sun, moon, rising, fire signs. However, you know, if you're a cross watcher dealing with a Leo, and you were drawn to the lion and the carnelian crystal, this reading is for you. I think it's interesting that you got the Speaker of Truth and the Communicate card together, right? And so there is definitely a need here to pick your words wisely and make sure that if you can't speak the truth, then you shouldn't speak. Plead the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Right? Plead the 5th. Please and thank you. I think you'll thank me later, right? I feel like any, even small lies that are not meant to harm or hurt anyone, right? Even that will come back to bite you in the ass in this situation. You have the ruin of Isa, which is basically frustrations, roadblocks, challenges, things backfiring, things not turning out the way you expected them. And again, it's like we can temper this type of energy by speaking the truth, by communicating clearly what our expectations are, what our truth is to the people involved in the situation, right? And if you aren't at a point in your journey where you're capable of doing that at this point, then you're best to just remove your energy and say the least amount that you can say. Vagueness and silence are going to be a very powerful ally for you right now. And I feel like what you do communicate should be powerful in the sense of it should be your truth, your full authentic truth. So, and it should help clarify situation, not confuse it, right? And lists fell out while I was shuffling, and this is the fairy of addiction. So you perhaps may be dealing with addictions. You may be dealing with someone who has addictions. And addictions are not necessarily just drugs and alcohol, right? Addictions are an addiction to attention, an addiction to sex, an addiction to shopping, an addiction to drama, an addiction, there's all kinds of addictions, right? Addiction to lying, these types of things. So I feel like pile 3, this is the energy that you're dealing with, right? And addiction is not easy to overcome, right? It is, many people lose that battle every day. And so I understand the journey, and I send you all the light and love I can possibly share. All you have to do is accept it. But I feel like, too, if you are dealing with someone that, and the shoe is not on your foot, and you're dealing with someone that is in the addiction cycle and struggle, then compassion is your most powerful way forward here, and is going to help the person way more than your nasty words. Sometimes we say things when we're angry, and we think maybe if they, if we insult them and shame them and guilt them enough, they'll change. Well, I can assure you that I have tried this route, and it does not work, okay? It only makes you feel like shit, that person despise you, and them sink lower into that addiction, right? And so it's not, you have to spread love in the situation, hold space for the person, pray for the most positive and benevolent outcome for them. And if you can't overcome the anger for the choices that they're making, because I'm not saying you should excuse the behavior, I'm just saying that talking and using negative or ugly words towards a person, calling names and things like that, is not going to help them change. So, again, if you can't say anything nice, then maybe don't say anything at all, in this situation, but prayers will definitely work. Asking lists for help for someone who is struggling with depression, addiction, this type of thing, she will always find time to help that person. So I recommend polite and grateful requests to lists for her help, for this energy that you're dealing with, for yourself as well. I definitely think it would be a good move. The affirmation that you got was improve my life. The work that I do in my job or my business continually improves everyone's life, including my own. Affirmations are best if you say them 3 times or more, and if you really, if you mean them. Your body and the energies in the universe, they know when you don't mean it. So try to, if you don't feel it, don't say it. Again, it goes back to this energy of, if, you shouldn't speak things that aren't true. You should only speak your truth powerfully, unapologetically, with no shame, and if you can't do that, if you can't feel shameless, or wait, I might not be saying that right. But if you can't say what your truth is, well, then maybe you need to evaluate that and either change the core belief that is creating the energy of shame within you, or create a change in the attitude and the truth, right? It's pretty clear when we start thinking in terms of that, which it is. The universe is usually pretty quick to jump to show you which one of those two truths it is, right? And so I feel like, there's also this energy of you will get pulled back down into a lower vibration quicker than you will pull someone up into a higher one. And so being mindful about who you're inviting into your energy is also something that should be evaluated. Spirit, give me messages for my pile 3 viewer. Sun, moon, rising, fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, cross watchers, dealing with fire signs. Give me some messages. Oh boy. Alright. Okie dokie. Alright, so I don't like the energy of the Buddha coming out in your current energy position. It means that either you are meddling in other people's affairs or somebody is meddling in yours, right? And him reverse is only worse, right? It's only that much worse. It only indicates that the intentions are malicious, that it's not just that helpful meddling that some people can do in the spirit of love, right? Oh, I'm helping you. This interference in your life, this sabotage that's happening, it's because I love you and care about you and it's the best thing, right? This being reversed tells me that it's not that at all. It's that, either you or this person is meddling because they're an asshole, right? And if I'm not, I'm just saying, just evaluate that. If you are going out of your way to involve or to meddle or to sabotage other people, that's a negative behavior. It's very ugly, right? It doesn't ever produce positive results, right? You might feel better for about 3 minutes until the reality sets in. Wait a second, I'm going to have to come, and there's a comeback for that, right? And so it's like, keeping that in mind as you make these decisions, right? Because I feel like the Lady of the Leprechauns coming out in reverse as well, right? Like, it's almost like you have the mask of truth, or you have the vision of the future, right? And it's almost like, I feel like you're just taking these gifts and using them for reasons that it's an abuse of power, is really what it is. It's an abuse of the gifts that were so generously and freely given to you by your ancestors, by the universe, by, the creator and such, right? And it's like, you're not even considering which of the gifts would be appropriate in the moment. You are just blinded by, and look, he's green, right? It's like, yeah, jealousy. And you know what Lil Wayne says? Jealousy is a disease. You can die from that shit. You know what I mean? And so it's like those things, even Corinthians, right? It's like, love is not jealous. Love is not, boastful. It's this kind of thing. I feel like there is some get back that you want for some perceived wrong that has been done to you by someone you care about, right? And I just want you to temper your thoughts here, or perhaps that's the energy of the other person, right? Take the energy how it resonates. It's like perhaps this person feels like you have done them wrong. Maybe you're with their person now, or something along those lines, right? And it's like, either way, it's low vibrational energy. And if somebody took something that was, if someone took someone from you, they weren't yours anyway. And why would you want someone that was so easy to just fucking swipe? You know what I mean? I don't want to. You're weak then. That means you're weak. Bye-bye. Right? It's like this kind of thing. It's like you trying to get that person back or spending any time on that energy speaks more about you than it will ever speak about the other person. Right? It's like, you know, there is this energy of universal connection, right? The Star Fairy talks about we all come kind of from the same place. Like, we're all connected one way or the other. Quantum entanglement, this, that, like our ancestors cross paths and different bloodlines, things like this. And it's like, you know, this being at the base of the reading, right? The subconscious area. It's almost like maybe, and again, the lady of the leprechaun being in reverse tells me you're not really thinking very clearly about the moves you're making here, right? You're not thinking about how it could ultimately affect your bloodline, your children, your in-laws, your relatives, like this and that. It's like there is an energy of making decisions from a very immature place, right? The fairy of naughtiness coming out in your past position tells me you're being Queen Petty. And as someone who has been known to be pretty petty, I can relate, right? However, I have looked at the results I've gotten from the choices that I made when I was in the energy of Queen Petty, right? And I didn't like them. They were not powerful. They did not make me look good. They didn't make me feel good. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got a couple good laughs out of a few things, right? But really, I wouldn't be retelling these things to people, right? They did not make me feel good or powerful or headed in a positive direction. So I had to make a decision, a commitment to myself that I would be committed to growth and I wouldn't repeat that type of energy because it's not powerful, it's not empowering, it is not helpful, it didn't help me heal from the thing that put me in the energy in the first place, right? It only created more of the same loss, the same disappointment, the same anger, right? So moving forward, you have to make better choices for yourself. And I feel like the Queen of Bedlam comes at the time when you need her the most, right? When everything is falling apart, when the kids aren't listening, when the house is a mess, when you gotta stay late at work, when, you know, when the washer breaks and the laundry, you know, she comes to give you that respite, right? And so it's almost like, take the gift, don't fight it. It's like, perhaps it is being offered by someone that isn't particularly your favorite person or something along those lines. And you're being asked to, instead of reject it, you know what I'm saying? Be open to it. Be open to these new ideas. Be open to the new way of doing things. Be open to the idea that maybe you do have a piece in the problem. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Try to look at both sides of the fence here and see what has created the issue. What could you have done to support the negativity? What could you have done to support the positive? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a real need here for some honesty with ourselves mainly, and then you're looking at other people. You know what Bob says? You point one finger at one person and there's 20 pointed back at you. You know? So, I mean, the advice here is that you may need to leave this situation, this family dynamic, this relationship, this partnership for a period of time and not allow fear to stop you. There's a fear of losing something you currently have or not getting something you want. And there is a urgent need to overcome that, right? Be brave, find the courage, find, the courage within yourself to know that you're capable of overcoming any challenges that may come your way by leaving this negative, low vibrational energy behind. I'm going to go ahead and get you some letters in pile 3. If this resonates, please hit the like button, subscribe. It helps the channel grow. All right, you could be dealing with someone with an R, T, K. You have A, M, F, I see rat here. Could be dealing with a rat. Someone that is quick to tell everybody it's your fault. Tell everybody what you've done in the situation, right? But never own their own shit. Family, right? I see fam. Could be dealing with a Catherine. A Matt. Someone could have a Ram truck. I don't know why that would be important, but it could very well be important. Tammy, perhaps. I'm just saying. Just some names that are popping into my head. But I really think that it would be powerful for you to say the Sunbird. So the Sunbird was the overall energy for the entire reading for sun signs, right? For fire signs. It was funny that the Sunbird came out. These cards have been very appropriate today. Thank you, by the way, Spirit. Thank you, Fetties. And so the Sunbird is a bird of happiness and joy, right? And let's see. I would like for you to read the affirmation. I think it would be very helpful for you. Jeez, I don't know where it went. I'm a mess over here today. Where did it go? I don't know where the book went. Oh, here it is. Sorry, pile 3. I got it. All right, so the Sunbird is number 33. Master number 33 is, or angel number 33 could be significant. The affirmation is, I ask the overlighting consciousness of the Sunbird to light up my day. I know that I am blessed and that abundance and companionship are mine to enjoy. I acknowledge my contribution to this world and allow in the offerings that life is offering in return. I choose to have fun now. So maybe instead of focusing on the drama that's playing out right now, the sabotage that is trying to find its way into your heart, you can choose the other. All right, I hope this helps. Thank you. Have a good night.